This is NBK, nothing but Knicks. When send past the assist, you know that it's #1 show that breaks down the game. If you can't play defense, stay out my way. Dribble the ball, come down the lane. 5 seconds on the shot clock, who gon' win us the game? You wanna hear Nick updates and trade rumors? Post-game reviews, this the place to tune in. So tell a friend just to keep the ball moving. Like the page if you feeling the movement. Every game we coming to win. Give us a sub like a player that came off the bench. This is NBK, nothing but Knicks.
Knicks family, what's poppin'? It's your boy. Ladies and gentlemen, these New York Knicks right here. I mean, they're proving that they're better than the Boston Celtics right now. And they figured it out. They have figured out how to beat this basketball team. They got to do it consistently, which they have so far over 2 games, but they figured out how to play against them. They figured out how to beat this team. And now we're going back to Madison Square Garden up 2-0. And what we say on the Losers Lines last night? If we win, they got to change the name of TD Garden.
That's right. There's only one Garden now.
It's one Garden, baby.
I mean, it was always only one. It was the real one and the fake one. But
you know what I'm saying? And ladies and gentlemen, you see the shirt. The Warden
has arrived.
Now, before we even go, you guys see the shirt. You see the name, the Warden. If you hear somebody else using it, you know where it came from. Let's make no mistakes about it. You know where it came from. It's like Captain Clutch. Bridges officially became the Warden tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, the Knicks started off the game terribly. They couldn't buy a shot. They erased OG's 3. They couldn't buy a shot. The Celtics go up early. The Knicks continued to fight back. They continued to battle back throughout the game, but they end up going down by 20. And magically, the game starts to turn. Josh Hart hits a 3. As a matter of fact, I think Josh Hart hits 2 threes after the Celtics go up 20. And the Knicks roll from there, ladies and gentlemen. And then in the fourth quarter, Mikal, the Warden Bridges, takes over the game.
With Brunson on the bench.
He puts the team on his back with Brunson on the bench, and he takes over the basketball game and keeps the Knicks in it. And then when the troops come back in, they continue to go to Mikal Bridges and look for Mikal Bridges. They didn't go away from him and say, we just got to give it to Brunson. No, they continue to look for Mikal Bridges. He hit a few shots still. And then, the Knicks do it defensively. Mikal Bridges with the big block on Jason Tatum at the end of the game.
Back-to-back stops.
Back stops. I mean, you know what? When Jason Tatum ran up the court, the Knicks took the lead. Jason Tatum ran up the court and scored. I was like, that might be a good thing. There was 24.2 seconds left on the clock. He ran up, boom, scored. It was still 20 seconds left. I was like, that gives us a chance to score. But you want to know who won the basketball game for this team, ladies and gentlemen? Right? Obviously, Mikal Bridges did his thing. But I'm talking to Sean. I'm talking to Greg. You want to know who won this basketball game for the Knicks? Tom, your coach, Thibodeau. He won it. And you want to know when he won the basketball game?
Can't tell him.
You can tell him, Tony. Tell him when he won the basketball game, please. Tell him. Please tell him.
When they started the Hackamich? Is that what you're referring to?
Yep.
They started the Hackamich.
Yep.
And he went and took Mitch out. And they said, wait. Put Mitch back in. They're not in a penalty yet.
Mm-hmm.
And what did they do? They fouled him again.
They fouled
Put
him
themselves in a penalty. I
Right.
really hate that
Now they
strategy.
and now
And
they have
for
to be
it,
careful. Now they had to be careful on how they played D, because just one foul would have sent whoever to the line.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? That was a huge strategy. That was a huge call.
And it was under 2 minutes, right? It was under 2 minutes
Yeah,
left, right?
it was under 2 minutes. That was a huge call.
I thought you couldn't do it under 2 minutes.
That was a huge call. Let me not say he won the game, but that play was pivotal. That call was pivotal. And I'm not even gonna lie. Right? I didn't know what the foul count was. And so when I seen OG going back to the bench, I'm like, what are you doing? What the heck is that?
Because the announcer was like, he's riding with Mitchell Robinson.
He's riding with Mitch. I was like, what the hell? What kind of play? What kind of call is that? And then we seen what it was. You know what I'm saying? But overall, Mikal Bridges saved the game, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? With the shots that he carried the Knicks in that fourth quarter. He obviously stopped, a big stop down the end of the game on Jason Tatum. That was great job all the way around. You know what I'm saying? Great job all the way around. Tom Thibodeau did a great job. The players did an excellent job staying in it, staying focused, not being intimidated because they were down 20, not being intimidated by the crowd, not being intimidated by people like Colin Cowherd and whoever else that was saying, well, the Celtics never shoot that bad again, and the Knicks are done and they won't win again and all of that. They didn't care. They said, we came to win. And now we're going back to
such a team effort. Again, Brunson still hasn't really had a great all-around game.
Nope.
You know what I mean? Definitely a worse game tonight than the first game, but still came up when he needed to in the clutch moments.
Mm-hmm.
One gripe I had during the game, because I think Cat jump-started that comeback offensively, right?
Okay.
And he was hot for a minute. I think he scored on 4 straight possessions for us. You know what I mean? We were getting stops. We brought the troops in again, and then we stopped going to him. And I think the last time we went to him, a foul should have been called when he went to the basket. It wasn't called, and then we didn't go to him for a long stretch. What I will say though is, you know what I mean, he's fine getting the rebounds. You know what I mean? Like, I thought his defense was better tonight. So but again, another mismatch that we found that I think we could utilize now, because this is 2 consecutive games. Wasn't in foul trouble tonight, where he dominated in the paint.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And made his inside presence felt. And they looked like they struggled with that.
Yeah. Yeah. Big games all the way across the board. I want to hear from Ron, from Still Knicks fans in the building. I want to hear from Ron, and how you feel about the game. Before we do that, though, just Mikal Bridges did his thing tonight, so I gotta put an ad in for the Warden, ladies and gentlemen. You see the Warden, Mikal Bridges again. You heard it here. We've had it all season long, but there's a 15% discount at printjurisdiction.com on all NBK comic apparels as we start to move things out to bring in a new slate of apparel. You know what I'm saying? So make sure you get them. I'll put the link in the chat. All right, but get over there. Get you a Warden t-shirt or a hoodie. 15% off, ladies and gentlemen. Ron, talk to me, my brother. Talk to me, please, because beautiful win.
Oh, man. Let me tell you something. Look, okay, let me preface this right now so you understand who I am and what I'm about. All right. I had to work tonight. Okay, I was working late. I couldn't get the game. I do pay for the MSG package on freaking whatever that app is, but of course the game's not on MSG. So whatever. I can't watch it. I'm at work. I'm watching all these watch-alongs, Jedi. I'm watching Guillermo. I'm watching everybody. And I'm just trying to figure out what the hell's going on. And I could not. By the time I got home, it was 6 minutes left. The Knicks were down like 14, something like that. And I said, oh, boy, I don't know. But anyway, whatever. I get here. My son is on the video game. I'm like, get off the damn video game so I can watch the Knicks. But as I'm doing that, time is going by. I'm talking. I just got home. Next thing I know, it's like 3 minutes and something left, and the Knicks are down, like, I don't know, 86, 81 or something. And I'm like, oh, boy. So, only real fans get this, okay? I didn't watch the whole game in person, really. So I'm like, I can't turn it on now. Like, I don't want to mess up the juju. So I had to just sit here looking at my phone, looking at the seconds, because I'm like, no, I don't want to be the reason in my mind that they stopped the comeback. So I just kept and I'm looking, and then the Knicks are up 86, and I'm going crazy. I'm like, nope. I'm not going to say nothing. I'm not even going to put nothing in nobody's chat. I'm waiting. And then it's 89, and I'm like, the Knicks are up, and then I see Jason Tatum scores or whatever, and it's 90-89. Then I'm like, oh no. And then Brunson hits the free throws, and we go up, and then I'm looking at the seconds. It's like 6 seconds, 5 seconds, 4 seconds, 3 seconds, and it's over. I'm like, oh my God. I was going crazy, man. I couldn't believe it. I was like, what happened here?
No doubt about it, man. Oh my goodness. I'm in the hotel. I'm trying not to scream and yell. I had to let a few of them out. I didn't care. I have 2 doors in my room, adjoining rooms. And so I'm waiting for someone to bang on the door and say, shut up. I didn't care. I had to let it out a few times because, you know what I mean?
Hey, since we sharing stories, I'm gonna just keep it brief. Me and my daughter caught the last 3 minutes of the game, and she might be a Knicks fan now.
Oh,
that's what I'm talking about.
You already know.
That's what I'm talking about.
So
unbelievable, though. Unbelievable. I did get to see, finally, I did get to see the highlights, from the beginning of the game. I was watching that on TNT. I saw the highlights from the beginning to the end. And so I saw how it all unfolded. I mean, it's incredible, man. Listen, if you're a Boston fan out there, you are like, what's going on? What the hell just happened? Something got flipped, and we in trouble. And shout out to people. I think it was Ian Begley who might have said it on one of his things. I just saw the clip. I didn't see his show. But he said, Boston has not faced a team this good. Even when they won last year's championship, the playoff matchups that they went through, nobody was as good as this Knicks team. So, yeah, I mean, listen, it is what it is. Am I saying that it's all the Knicks' effort and their hustle and their defense? No. It's a combination of Boston missing big, clutch shots that they could have knocked down at inopportune times. Hey, when you're trying to win, you need a little bit of luck. You need to be in the spot that you need to be in with the effort, the hustle, and the defense. But sometimes you need a little bit of luck. And look, I don't know what's going on, but I'm not pinching myself. I'm rolling with it. Let's go Knicks.
But let me ask you
this.
Let me
real quick, Sam. I just want to say another attribute along with with people's talents is being clutch.
Mm-hmm.
And not only do we have the guy, but we've been the most clutch team. You know what I mean? All year, and that is something that they really didn't have to face with no adversity, right? So when it comes down to last couple of minutes of the game, and you got to get a stop, or you got to get a couple stops, and you got to get a shot, they've never been in that position. They've been blowing teams out with their margin of victory.
Right. Now, Ron, you mentioned, missed shots, they missed some shots, things like that, this and that. But how much of that is due to with the fire and aggressiveness that the Knicks are playing with? When you have that kind of pressure on you, it wears on your body and it wears on your mind. And now, you know what I'm saying? You missed 45 threes in the first game. Now you're out here, your focus is a little bit different. You can see that they came in with a little bit of a different mindset. Let's go to the basket a little bit more. So now you switched up your philosophy. Right? So now, not only are we closing out and playing hard and playing aggressive, now you're thinking a little bit differently about the game.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So a lot of that is still due to the Knicks, I think.
That's fair. That's a fair point. And I did say on just thinking about, because game 1 and game 2 are like eerily similar. It's crazy. This is bananas. Like
Crazy.
yeah, it's wild. So I said it after game 1 that a lot of what has been going on with the Knicks playing these good teams that have been kind of blowing them out and getting their number. Like, the Knicks weren't all together. They weren't necessarily gelling. Most importantly, the defense really wasn't where it needed to be. The defense is finally there. Shout out to Detroit once again. I praise them for helping wake the Knicks up, because I think their defense is the best it's ever been. And I think that series had a lot to do with it. But the other thing that I said was, I think the Knicks needed to see, and any team playing Boston or any team playing OKC for that matter, you need to get that confidence level that you can go out there and withstand their best punch, right? And then after you're doing that, you start to clamp down. And for the Knicks in particular, who's a really poor 3-point perimeter defensive team, just getting out there and causing a little bit of havoc while they're trying to shoot and disturbing some shots to break their rhythm. And then, of course, you're going to have moments where they're going to be wide open, but they don't have the rhythm. So then they start to miss. And then the whole thing, what you're saying, as far as them coming back and the pressure that Boston's under, knowing, especially in this game, knowing they're already down 1-0, and they got to win this game. And then the Knicks are fighting back after they thought that they almost gave them the knockout punch. To watch them come back and deal with that. And then you got your own fans in the building starting to ooh and ah and groan. And like, it's got to be a lot of pressure. Right. Definitely. I'm with you on that.
And they're groaning about threes being taken, and now the pressure is really on.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And they got to come to Madison Square Garden. They may feel a little relieved that they're getting away from Boston, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because, the fans, I'm sure are not happy, about the situation right now. So they may be a little bit relieved, but, the Garden is going to be crazy. The real Garden.
It's going to be nuts. It's going to be bananas.
Not that plant house that they go up. Not that. The real Garden. Somebody said that in the chat earlier last night. We said, well, what do we call it if it's not the Garden? What's the lower level of a garden? It's a few plants in a closet with a light over it. That's what it is. That's what it is.
They got a green room. Yeah.
They got a green room, whatever you want to call it. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, Sim, I apologize. I'll let you do your thing. Can I just say one thing to one person in the chat?
Yes, sir. Do you think?
And listen, if you don't mind, can I just highlight this real quick?
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Size 9. Size 9 has been kind of, he's been a little critical of me lately. But I just wanted to say, he says, where is all that Tibbs slander now, Ron? Well, if you watched Monday's show, still Knicks fans, you would see that not only did I give Tibbs his props, I said he coached his ass off. I gave him I gave him all of that on Monday. So you got to watch, man. You can't just go off what you think I feel about a coach. Okay. You got to go off what I actually do say about a coach. You got to tune in. The only thing I will say, and I said this before, I said Tibbs has to step up and he has to coach these guys in the right way, but he also has to have some flexibility. He has to have some flexibility with rotations, with his principles out there on the court. He has to be willing to make adjustments if we want to try to win. And he has been fantastic in these two games. We didn't get to see his coaching prowess as much in the Detroit series, but in this Boston series, I think Tibbs is doing a fantastic job, and I gave him credit in the first game. I couldn't really say anything because I didn't have a show to say something about him in this game, but from what I hear, I couldn't see everything, but it sounds like he coached his butt off in this one too. So I'm giving Tibbs credit once again. As long as he does the right thing, I'm fine with him. I'm happy with him. Let's go, Tibbs.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Let me get to my man Corey from Rochester. Corey, what's popping with you, brother?
Yo.
Talk to me, man.
I'm here.
Talk to us.
Yo, what up, Tim? Tony? Ron? What up, fellas?
What's happening?
What's happening, brother? Talk to us. We up 2-0.
Oh my God!
I know.
I was
you're
watching
doing
the score
backflips.
again, and on my phone because I didn't watch the second half. But when I got closer and closer, I said, "This is my good luck here." But when I saw the free throws that Brunson hit on the scoreboard on my phone when it was 90, then he made the lead one. And then when I saw the last play that Mitchell Robinson stepped to Tatum, but when I saw Bridges block the shot and got the rebound and then shot it up in the air for to get the time off the clock, I said, "Holy poop! They did it again! Holy poop! Did it again!"
Holy sugar, honey, iced tea. Yeah, you say that.
Yep, I had to beat because I don't do the cussing because I know you can't do no cussing. That's why I'm like, "Holy poop! Did it again!"
I feel you. Did it again. It's amazing. It's amazing. Now we got and we'll talk about it later on. We got a chance to go up 3-0. That's crazy. But we were talking about milestones last night on the Losers Lounge. Today, when I did a little pregame chat, we were talking about
the Losers Lounge.
We were talking about milestones.
And believe me, it was so funny. You talking about a plant room.
Yeah. But this is how big of a milestone is this for this basketball team? I mean, we're watching them grow up before our eyes and really learn how to win in any situation. But to be up 2-0, how big of a milestone is that for this team, and how far does it go for their confidence?
Right.
Go ahead, Corey.
And it's not easy. I mean, that just comes to tell you, though, Sim, that we came a long way, bro.
Long way.
Long way. And that's a difficult journey.
Long way. Long way. You know what I'm saying?
Like my man Ron just said, big up to Detroit, man. I mean, all that physicalness they gave us, it really is working for us to beat this team. I don't know how they did it, but we're feeling it. We're still feeling it.
They prepared us for this moment, and now we're locked into that style of play.
Yep.
We are locked into that style. All season long, we wavered all season long. We played soft. We, didn't have the best, the strongest mentality. But right now, you know what I'm saying? We're locked in. We're playing gritty defensively. We're tough mentally. You know what I'm saying? We're not fazed by anything. You know what I'm saying? And we can not shoot the ball well, and we figure that we can find a way to win. The Knicks shot 43% today.
Starting to feel like last year, Sim. It's starting to feel like last year.
They shot 29% from the 3-point line. 29%. And again, the Celtics shoot 25% from the 3-point line. The Celtics shoot 36% from the field because the Knicks defense is not just because they're missing. They're missing. I mean, Jason Tatum had a wide open 3 and he blew it. But the Knicks are playing some good ass defense.
Right.
And making those extra efforts.
Man, but I'm looking at my man Jaylen Brown numbers, 2 for 7 from 3, missed 15 shots, got his 20. And what makes it so bad is Cat and Josh Hart outscored you. Because Josh Hart had 23. Cat chipped in 21 and had good 17 strong rebounds.
Yeah.
That's making you look real bad.
Yeah.
This making you look real bad, Jaylen Brown, Tatum. You're playing right into the hands what we want. Yeah, keep shooting them threes like we just said before. Oh yeah, that's our game plan. And then once some threes don't go down, now what you gonna do?
Right. Yeah, I feel you. All right, Corey, I appreciate it, man. I know we got some people that want to get in because it's an exciting night. So I don't want to sorry I have to cut it short.
I want everybody else to get their exciting night too. I understand.
No doubt. Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate it.
But I love y'all though.
Love you back, bro.
Later, brother.
Peace. The Knicks, I mean, they're playing the style of play that they're playing right now is really no ego. No ego whatsoever. Josh Hart led the team in scoring with 23 points. He was 9 for 15 from the field. And a lot of that is because there was so much attention on Brunson. You know what I'm saying? Other people had to knock down shots. Other people had to, come up big, and Josh Hart did. 23 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 blocks. Karl Anthony Towns, he had 21 points, 17 rebounds. He was 9 for 16. He only took 1 3. I see Uncle Fulio in the chat.
You need to call in, brother.
Uncle Fulio, I see you in the chat.
You better call in.
Bro. Let's talk. I want to talk to you. Karl Anthony Towns. 1, 2, 3 shots outside of the paint. And his only 3-pointer was from half court. When the timer is running down, Uncle Fulio, let's talk, please. I seen you in the chat. Let's talk. Because you said Cat shouldn't play this way. You said we got to go to his strength and shoot threes. We won't win that way. Well, we're up 2-0. And tonight he's only taken 3 shots outside, 4 shots, outside of the paint. 1 was a heave, though. I need you to talk to me, Uncle Fulio. Don't run from it. Talk to me about that. Let's talk about it. Because we're having success against the Boston Celtics playing this style of basketball. 17 rebounds for Karl Anthony Towns tonight. 17 of them, 21 points, 17 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 block. 17 points for Jalen Brunson, 7 assists, 14 points for Mikal Bridges, and I believe all of them in the fourth quarter, right? Right? 14, 14 points for Mikal Bridges in the fourth quarter. 9 for Jalen Brunson. Yep, Mikal Bridges was 6 for 10 from the 3-point line. 6 for 10 from the field in the fourth quarter. And obviously he came up big with a huge block at the end. I guess they called it a steal. Maybe they called it a steal. They don't have it listed as a block. But the Knicks are playing. They're playing with, it doesn't matter who gets it done. They're playing with no ego. When Mikal Bridges was cooking, and as they should do, they came in and they gave, when Brunson got back in the game, he found Mikal Bridges. He didn't say, I got to do it. He found Mikal Bridges. You know what I'm saying? Brunson didn't have it going. Other people, you know what? Okay, we got to get the ball up. We got to get other people involved and find ways for them to get involved. Brunson still had 19 shot attempts, the most on the team. But Bridges had 18. Karl Anthony Towns had 16. Josh Hart had 15. OG Anunoby had 9. All right, 5 for Mitchell Robinson, 3 for Deuce, 1 for Campaign. But no one's playing with an ego. Everyone is, wherever I have to fit in is where I'm going to fit in for this team to win. I got upset. Other people got upset because Karl Anthony Towns scored 14 points in the first game or whatever it was, right? 14 maybe. We're like, we need more. You know what I'm saying? But he did what he had to do. He moved out the way when he needed to move out the way, got a big rebound and put back when he needed to in the first game. He did what he had to do. Everyone is doing what they have to do, whatever that is, to help win the basketball game, playing with no ego whatsoever. It doesn't matter. All we care about is the win. You know what I'm saying? And, I love, that's the style of play that's going to get you that equal success. You know what I'm saying? Tony, what do you think about that, man? And then I'm going to get to some super chats.
I mean, I agree 100%. Well, number one, I think it's familiarity from that whole Villanova days, right? Like, obviously, they're different players now. They've grown, but they know how to play together, play for one another, play unselfishly, selflessly. Right. So, I think that's a huge part of it. If you being honest, you know what I mean? And this is not a slight in any way, but those three have the majority of the chemistry, right? You know what I mean? Like, Brunson finds them two guys a little bit more easier, seamlessly, than the rest of the squad. So I think that has a huge part to do with it. But it's also Tibbs' philosophy, what he preaches, making the right read, making the right play. And it's really them figuring it out. You know what I mean? Like everybody is not going to be at their peak at all times. So what they've been saying is, find ways to contribute. Not shooting well, do this. So when you know you could tap into a rebound, tap into a defensive stop, tap into a shot, whatever it is on any given night, you know what I mean? You become stronger overall collectively, but as time goes by, you know what I mean? I'm not gonna say we peaked, but we are getting better as we go. Because I can't say we peaked. We haven't played well yet. Collectively,
right?
Like you know what I mean? Bridges came up big in the fourth quarter. Brunson came up big in the clutch, but it was Cat that held us down throughout the game. It was Hart that held us down throughout the game. It was Mitchell Robinson that held us down throughout the game till we got to that point where, all right, we need some guys to step up. And yeah, man, this team is they keep growing. They're not at their peak, but you can see where they're gonna be once the full chemistry is there collectively. And
they're growing, really growing as a team. Ron, let me get to some super chats, and I want to get to you on that. Well, Jason Benjamin, thank you for the super chat. He said, put some respect on Mikal Bridges' name. Bing bong. Please put some respect on his name. And call him the Warden. Because he earned that nickname over these past 2 games. Mikal, Warden, Bridges. Why is he the Warden? Because he's locking people down. That's why he's the Warden, ladies and gentlemen. Put some respect on him. Jason, again, thank you for the super chat. He said Mitch made Tatum work for that last shot. Big stop. He definitely did. You know what I mean? He came out, wasn't scared. Obviously, you know what I'm saying? OG and Mikal came over to help. You know what I'm saying? But Mitch got down in his stance and said, let's do it. It's me and you. Let's do it.
And that's an adjustment, whether it was Tibbs or whether it was the team, because that was the same exact play they ran before where he got the dunk.
Yeah.
Same exact play. And now we collapse.
Yeah, it's just when he got the dunk, he had a head of steam.
He did, but I'm only referencing that because Mazzulla was asked about it in a press conference, and he said it was the same play.
Yeah,
that he just got a dunk on. They just stopped it. You know what I mean?
It's just Tatum, but because he was coming full court, got a screen. You know what I'm saying? A moving screen, though, by Al Horford. I don't care what nobody says. That joint was moving. I was screaming, it's a moving screen. You're just going to let him move? You know what I'm saying? Then, boom, he gets the dunk. But he got ahead of steam. Mitch isn't going to stop that. But this was all half court. You know what I'm saying? All half court. Fred Wong, thank you for the super chat. He said, I'm still on the fence with Tibbs, but I got to give him his props. He's been brilliant this series, but we got to finish the job, body bag, and zip him up. Yeah, it's a body in the trunk, son. So what's it going to be? You know what I'm saying? That's what, no doubt. We got to get these guys. We got to get them out of here. You know what I'm saying? Got to get them out of here. Brooklyn Butch, thank you for the super chat. He said, what is the path to 3 straight against Boston? I think you have to step on their neck now and finish them. To me, the path is playing this same type of game. You know what I'm saying? It's working. Keep them to scoring what they scored last game. 106, 105, whatever it was, right? Keep them scoring below 110 points. You know what I'm saying?
My bad. We had 108. So
we had 108, right. Keep them scoring, low scoring. You know what I'm saying? Keep them as a low scoring team. We got to keep playing gritty defensively, flying out there to close out. You know what I'm saying? Just keep doing what we're doing right now and be prepared that we are going to go down the stretch and feel confident. Like Tony said last night on the Losers Lounge, we got the best guy in the clutch. We got Captain Clutch. He's been the best all season, right? He's the best in the league. He's been the best in the playoffs. We got Captain Clutch. Trust that. Keep the game close. Keep it there. Get it in the crunch time, and let's go to work. All right. Paris Duggar, thank you for the super chat. He said the rope-a-dope. Be physical. Wear their shooting legs out from the 3-ball accuracy and complete the team in the 8th round knockout. You know what I'm saying? And F those picks. Yeah. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Listen, a lot of people was all season long, you know, Bridges has been up and down, and a lot of people was, you know, oh, he gave up so many picks. A lot of people argued with me because I was like, you know what? Maybe the Knicks don't really value those picks because they've done very well drafting in the 2nd round. You know, a lot of people was like, oh, what are you talking about? They don't value 1st round picks. Da, 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 da. Well, you know, he's coming through. You know what I'm saying? F those picks. Who cares about those picks? You know what I'm saying? Nobody cares about those picks right now. Let's get it in. Caller, you live, man. Name me where you're from.
It's me again. It's Mets.
It's Mets, baby. Come on, Mets.
Not much. Look, for as much flack I throw at Thibodeau, and Uncle Ron would know how much flack I throw at him.
That's what I'm waiting for, baby. That's what I'm waiting for. Come on, give it to me.
I am grudgingly giving the devil his due tonight.
That's big of you, Mets. You've come a long way.
That he's actually finally figured out how to beat Missoula at his own game. Box out and contain Tatum, force him to make bad shots, no gambling on the shot when he gets in the lane, force him to throw up bad threes. Same thing with Tate, with Brown, White, Houghton, Pritchard. Throw in the fact that Porzingis has been sick all series.
I don't care.
And you have no Sam Hauser. You're basically forcing Boston to play on its back foot. But now they've got 3 days rest. I think KP is going to be healthy, so it's going to be a lot harder.
Yeah.
They're going into Saturday.
Listen, I don't care that I don't care that I don't care that Porzingis is sick or Sam Hauser is out. It don't matter to me. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Porzingis played. How many minutes did Porzingis play tonight?
13.
13 minutes. You know, he had some productive moments. Yeah, 13 minutes tonight. 8 points. He was a -9 in those minutes.
Because he had a bad first half.
Yeah. But Mets, I'm glad that you called up and you're giving him and you're giving Tibbs his props because he's been doing a good job. He's been doing a really good job.
What was the point of taking dives and letting yourself get your ass handed in the first 4?
Say that again?
What was the point of Tibbs basically letting himself be the punching bag in the first 4 games against Boston?
Well, I mean,
figuring them out.
You're figuring out. We're figuring out ourselves as a team during that time. You know what I'm saying? I don't think he just let us be a punching bag. I think they whooped us. You know what I'm saying? Because we just wasn't ready to play them. But we kind of figured out how to play, and we figured out what their kryptonite is right now. You know what I'm saying? We figured it out. And this is a team that's been learning all season long. And I kept arguing with people all season long, telling you this team is learning. They're trying to figure out how to play.
But then again, just for a boxing match, what kind of style does Boston play? They play the swarmer style. By contrast, Knicks are sluggers.
Sluggers. Yeah.
One relies on speed, getting the shots in fast, and getting out of there. Whereas the other, in finesse, makes up for perseverance and hitting power.
Right. And see, here's the thing. Throughout the season, the Knicks were figuring out, are we the team that plays with finesse and speed? Or are we the slugger? Right? Or are we a mix in between? I mean,
And then
we were figuring that out.
And I think they have. When we get stops, let's put the speed on.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But we got to figure out how to play in the half court and I think that's where they really get. I think that's where they could really dominate.
Right.
You know what I mean? When they get the stops, obviously that's run, give and go. You know what I mean? Like take off, but you got to be able to slow it down, especially now in the playoffs. You know what I mean? And take advantage and protect possessions.
Yeah. And we got more work to do, but we're obviously on the right path, up 2-0. We got Friday off, back to Madison Square Garden. The game is an early game. We're going to talk about that, but we have a real opportunity here. Mets, I appreciate you being candid and honest. You know what I'm saying?
You're welcome.
And I'll talk to you later.
Wait.
Peace. Yeah. Big shout out to Aunt Diaz. Thank you for the super chat. He said Knicks fans were up 2-0 and still haven't played our best basketball yet. New York forever. Let's go Knicks. Yeah. We haven't played our best basketball. You know what I'm saying? And that's
A beautiful thing.
If we're going to play our best basketball, though, or maybe our best basketball is just going to be this style, against this team. You know what I mean? We still got out rebounded 51-46. That's not bad though. It is what it is. 19 assists for the Knicks, 11 steals, 5 blocks, 15 turnovers. We were turning the ball over something terrible at certain points of the game, and I was getting really frustrated with that. I was like, "Come on, man!" Like every time we had a chance to make a run and get back in it, we turn the ball over and let them score. But down the stretch of the game, we took care of the basketball. 43% from the field for the Knicks, 36% for the Celtics, 29% from three for the Knicks, 25% for the Celtics. Both teams 80% from the free throw line. Both teams 42 points in the paint. Second chance points, the Celtics 23, the Knicks 14, 18 fast break points for the Knicks and 13 for the Celtics. The Knicks are putting the pressure on them. They're playing aggressive. And I think it's part of the reason why they're not shooting the ball well too. And they're playing with no ego. Playing with no ego.
Two things real quick, Sam. That was my mom that called. I was gonna let her put it on speaker so she could say "Let's go Knicks," but she had to go. But she said what up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She called me. You seen the game? Yeah, I seen it, bro.
Big shout out to her. I
seen it. Oh, yeah. Don't forget.
Yeah. Go ahead. Keep saying what you're saying.
That was it.
Oh.
And I honestly I lost my train of thought because I was looking at the Warden, but and I ain't get mine yet, so I definitely gotta take advantage with the discount. So
y'all see it, ladies and gentlemen. Y'all see it. 15% off all remaining NBK Comics apparel. The link is tagged to the top of your YouTube chat. 15% off. You can get Captain Clutch. You can get the Warden. You see the shirt? I got it on right now. You know what I'm saying? So make sure you take advantage of it while you can, ladies and gentlemen, and get you a t-shirt, get you a hoodie. Take care of that. Take care of that.
Sam, I don't know if you definitively know.
Hold on for 1 second. Let me get us back in there. There we go.
I don't know if you definitively know who's up next as far as the next character, but maybe let the fans maybe let the chat decide.
You know what I'm saying?
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Who would y'all want to see next? We got Captain Clutch. We got the Warden. We want to see next. That's a good one.
It's like Josh Hart, Cat, OG. Like we got options, right? All deserving. You know what I mean?
No doubt. We got people. Let me get to my man Silk Sutton. Silk, what's poppin' with you, brother? How you feeling, man?
What up, Sam? What up, Tony? What up, Big Ron?
What up, Silk?
I got an idea, Sam.
Okay, let me hear it.
I want to picture Missoula and Mitch with the 6 signs. Shook, I got you shook. Cause he's scared. Missoula is scared of Mitch in this game. He tried to
Terrified.
get him out the game by hook or by crook when they get close. So I wanted to see that picture. Missoula's face with Mitch giving the 6 out he did in Cleveland. Shook.
Yeah.
On a T-shirt.
Yeah. I mean,
Man.
is it that he's afraid, or he sees it as a way to capitalize on
Because-
his, free throw shooting,
What I'm seeing, Mitch, the
or
difference is
lack thereof?
they kept getting these extra rebounds on the early game when they had them blowouts. We getting stops now. And Mitch is helping getting stops. He getting extra rebounds. He getting inside dunks. People ain't automatically coming in, and he could play Tatum with OG.
Mm-hmm.
So it ain't automatically Tatum's killing us from outside and inside every game.
Okay.
So he helps on Tatum. So yeah, he want to get him out the game because he figured Tatum could score on Cat and Mikal a little bit. But Tatum was having trouble scoring on OG and Mitch.
Right.
So, and it ain't no coincidence. After Mitch comes back, every game is close now, no matter how many points, and that's going to be in their head. Damn, we have 20 twice, and we still can't shake these dudes?
Yeah.
That's going to be in their head this whole series. How big a lead we need?
No doubt about that. That's going to be, I mean, that's if they go up by double digits, they know it's not safe. And the Knicks know they can come back. Now, I don't want to keep playing with fire like that.
Nah.
You know what I'm saying? That's not what we want to do. But we know if we get in that situation, we can. And, we get out of this series, if it happens in the next series, we know we can come back.
And all the win horn people and all the people saying, we were lucky to win the first game. I want to hear what they got to say now.
Yes, sir.
We did it to them twice.
Yes,
Same
sir.
way.
Yes, sir.
Is it luck twice?
Right. I can't wait to hear what they got to say.
It ain't luck twice. We D'ing up now.
Yeah.
I think
D'ing up now.
Orlando showed us the way of slowing them down. Like I said, we can't play the Orlando Stars because we ain't from 1 through 5 athletic to them, but we can still get in their face. Brunson is still up in. Brunson had me nervous. He took that charge from Jalen Brown. Said, "Yo, man, don't get killed. We need you."
Wait. Speaking about charges, we got to talk about the OG slam. We got to talk about the OG slam.
Yeah,
I know. It was an offensive foul.
I'm not even gonna lie. If we didn't pull this win away, I thought that call was a momentum breaker because we was in the midst of our run, and it slowed down and it got a little bit more gritty. After that,
we was in the midst of a run. It would have went from 9-7, either 9-7 or 7-5. Next thing you know, they were up 18. And Tom Thibodeau's calling a timeout. Right after that, they go up 18.
So that was like a change in the whole momentum, and we was like, that's when Cat was on the tip.
Yeah,
that's when
another one of those missed calls was when Derek White should have been called for a foul on the Brunson 3.
Mm-hmm. That was horrible.
He didn't give him landing space.
That should have been the flagrant, right? Whatever the upgrade to that is.
Right.
And
He didn't give him landings. He didn't give him landing space. How can and then they come back and he hits a 3, I think, or scores. Right? But he didn't give him landing space. Should have been 3 shots.
And he hit him on the wrist. He hit him on the wrist, too. He hit him and he didn't give him landing space.
Yeah, I didn't see. I was paying attention to where he landed, and maybe he did hit him on the wrist. I didn't pay attention to that.
That's the Kawhi rule, right?
Yeah. Yep. That was terrible. I don't know how you don't call that. That was terrible.
Yeah, and Big Ron, I'm on the ledge, man. Like your show says, I'm that cat on the ledge right now. I'm jumping off that ledge, man.
I understand, man. That's why Saturday show, I'm gonna have to keep that video in the tuck, man. Everybody deserves it. It's okay to jump out that window right now. We all right.
Yeah. So, fellas, all you gotta do, because I know sometimes we go home, we get a little bit lax. We gotta keep the same energy when we go home. We may not be able to take both of them because it seems like the Knicks are right now, aka Road Warriors. We haven't lost at all on the road in 2 series yet.
We haven't lost but 4-0 on the road in the playoffs.
Nope.
Right? 4-0.
Road Warriors for real.
Or 5-0. 5-0. We're 5-0.
Yep, 5-0.
Yeah,
5-0.
3 in Detroit and 2 in Boston.
Yeah, 3 in Detroit and 2 in Boston. 5-0 on the road. 5-0.
So we gotta make sure we still win at home. We can't let them come back 2-2, make it a series.
No, we gotta get at least one at home. Be up 3-1. Got to.
Right. And when it shit fall, then after that, let them fall.
Got to be up
And
3-1.
before I go, fellas, I got one more thing to say.
Or better.
Get that man Tibbs his props. Because Missoula was doing a hack a mix before he was in the penalty, and he figured he was going to be so fearful that Tibbs would take him out right away. He said, no, wait up. They're going to put you in the penalty first. Then we take him out.
But the crazy thing is that they fell for it.
Yeah.
Right? They
Right.
And maybe they just didn't. Maybe they didn't realize what was happening.
Tim, to be honest, it's like he said. They scared of Mitch. Look at Mitch's plus minus. That I know you can't live and die by that. You know what I mean? Some people think it's overrated, but his impact on the game was tremendous, and they had no answer for him. And he was guarding in space. He was guarding on the perimeter. So if Mitch is gonna be able to protect the rim, you know what I mean, and he was doing a good job, other than obviously that dunk by Tatum, but he was out there guarding in space. They wanted him off the floor, and that's the way they had to get him off the floor.
Okay.
And fellas, did you see that clip? Did you see that clip with Mitch when they had him talking on the first game?
Yeah.
And he said, I'm the only 7-footer that can guard Tatum. They had him on an open mic saying that.
Yeah.
And he might be right.
He might be right.
All right, fellas.
All right.
Let's get this next one.
Gotta get
All right, so
We win the next one. We win the series.
Who's your player of the game?
I guess listen, I gotta give it to Mikal. Right place, right time, Bridges, man.
Yeah.
Mikal's just been, I think Mikal has been really the X factor for the team, because this is who the Knicks thought they were getting when they brought him over here. He just hasn't had a chance to really lock in and show it. And this is the first time that, like, the playoffs, it's clicked. That Mikal defense is on another level. I mean, he's everywhere. His anticipation is fantastic. Yeah. Oh, and also before I pass it over, I just wanted to say I think you're right, Sim.
What's that?
I think the Knicks are locked in now to that style of play that they were playing with Detroit. And I kind of think also, to the other point that you said too, that when it was asked, I don't think in this series, at least, I don't think we're going to see the Knicks play well, like Knicks basketball. Right. I think this is Knicks basketball. I think the Knicks realized they played Detroit. Detroit played them physical, but most importantly, Detroit kept the scoring low. They made it very difficult. It was their style of game. So because they don't have a lot of offensive weapons, so they know they had to keep the game close, keep it low. And I think the Knicks said, you know what, we didn't like that very much. I don't think Boston's gonna like it either. So guess what? This is how we playing, because it's working. And I think I think they're gonna keep it. And I think it's another thing. We talk about a team that has gotten a lot of assists throughout the year. Even we have that little metric that if they get over 30 assists, the chances of them winning is high. We haven't sniffed 30 assists throughout these playoffs. I don't think they're worried about that. I think they rock with this style of play, bro.
Yeah, they're not worried. All they're worried about is how do we pull out the win. I think that's
my only pushback, because I know both of you guys are basically saying the same exact thing. Mm-hmm. The only difference is I think we're gonna have a game where we shoot well. And that is gonna change it's gonna look different. Now, to Sim's point, he said Boston may shoot well that same game, and that may be a high scoring game, but still close. But I think we could blow them out if we're hitting shots. To be honest, I really do.
I actually like this style of play more just because of Boston, though. And maybe if you're playing somebody of that ilk, like if we was in the finals playing OKC, I would probably say maybe this is the style of play to work with them too. Mm-hmm. I like it because if we are hitting our shots, the Knicks they start to get comfortable. They get a little lax on the defense, and things start to open up. So we start having good looks and getting a good rhythm, but they start giving up some good looks as well. And at least with this style up, and I know that maybe they've got away with giving up some open shots in these two games too. But I just feel like when they're playing this style of game, and the game is close, and it's low scoring, that the defense is needed. Like, you can't take possessions off.
Right.
So I think it'll work with Indiana too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Listen, let me tell you something. If there's anybody here that wants to see Indiana more than me, I don't know who that is. I am dying for the Knicks to get past Boston and have to face Indiana so we can smack them in the face with a healthy roster. So, because Indiana is one team that has capitalized on their opponent being hurt. Yeah. And that second game shouldn't have even been a game that they could have won had Cleveland been healthy. But they get all the breaks, so we'll see.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Tony, did you say who your player of the game was?
I didn't. It's hard not to give it to Mikal, but I'm gonna give him a different award. I'm gonna give him the clutch defensive player award.
Okay.
Because you know what I mean? Like, he's the defensive Brunson. You know what I mean? Like, back-to-back stops. But I'm going with Cat. Even though a lot of it wasn't down the stretch, I think he carried us when it was getting rocky. He started the first comeback. You know what I mean? That I think rattled Boston a little bit, even though it went back to 18. And I think he found out some things tonight, or solidified some things tonight. Like you said, that post play is a weapon for him, especially with whom they're guarding him with. So force them into another adjustment. You know what I mean? Or dominate and kill. And I think he could do that. And he stayed out of foul trouble tonight, which was great. And I thought Al Horford, he hasn't really played against Al Horford well. I thought tonight he did. So I think he conquered a lot of things that was missing.
I love
and got over 20 first time in 3 games.
Yeah, I love the fact that Cat is playing against the Celtics. He's playing inside. And he's not being afraid to play inside. It doesn't always look pretty. I ain't gonna lie. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't always look pretty, but he's getting it done. As he has a nice touch. He has a nice touch. So even when he's off balance and falling and he he doesn't have a whole lot of lift naturally. You know what I'm saying? He got 2 guys hanging over him. He's got a nice touch. You know what I'm saying? I love the fact that he said, you know what? We've always heard it about Cat. He doesn't really want to play inside. He wants to be a 4 and this, that, and the third. But he's just saying, I got to do what I got to do for us to win. Whatever that is. If that's only taking 10 shots, even though I've complained about it. You know what I'm saying? If he's only taking 10 shots, if he's got to grab 17 rebounds, whatever it is, if he's got to be the passer and find Brunson or whoever else, he said, that's what I'm going to do. And that it can't be overlooked. You know what I'm saying? Because he's done whatever he's had to do, whatever's been asked of him to do to help the team win is what he's been doing. And it's going back to no ego on the team. No one's caring about who's scoring, or we just got to get it done.
And he's the this is probably the wrong phrase, but the oddest man out, right? Like, he's the newest addition. I mean, even Mikal was slightly here longer, but I spoke about that Villanova relationship and past. I think that helps bridge a gap in Mikal just getting here. But Cat, you know what I mean? OG, he's new, but he's played a half a season prior, prior to Cat getting here. Yeah. So he's really the guy with the most adjusting, or to rephrase it, the most sacrifice. He's got to find his way the most and kind of pick what he got to do to win. So he's been great.
Yeah. And after this, I'm not, if he only takes 10 shots in the game, I'm not even going to complain. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm going to just figure this is what was needed. I mean,
when we win, but where we win. I ain't gonna lie. If we lose a game and he's 5 for 8,
Okay, I feel you.
you know what I mean?
I feel you.
I'm gonna be like, yo, bro, you was cooking.
I feel you.
Why you put it in the microwave? Or you know what I mean? Like, why you turned it off?
I feel you. Yeah, I'll probably be the same way. You know what I'm saying? But I do. I really do. I like the fact that he's just giving whatever needs to, whatever it is. You know, he's not afraid to step aside. He knows, clearly, right now, everyone knows it's Brunson. And when he decides I'm going to get mine, move out the way. And he's the one person that could have said, wait a minute, hold up. You know what I'm saying? I'm all NBA guy, all-star team guy. Like, give me the rock too. But he said, this is my role on this basketball team. So you got to give it up to him. Everybody's doing it. Everyone's doing it. But my player of the game is Mikal Bridges too, man. You know what I mean? And early in the fourth quarter, he really carried the Knicks. He just carried the team on his back. 9 straight points or something like that. He carried the team. Brunson was out. Karl Anthony Towns was out. He just went to work, and did what he had to do. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. He played amazing carrying the team, and then obviously came up with the big block at the end, to seal the deal for the Knicks.
What I love about that is it gives us a defensive lineup that has an offensive staple.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So now, there's going to be times where Brunson don't have it. And now we finding a guy that could kind of step in and potentially give us that all defensive lineup. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, no doubt. We got DJ Shuttle on the line. DJ Shuttle, what's popping with you, bro?
All aboard, pack these boys up. Yes, man. My guy told me the Knicks were not a fourth quarter team. And 2 games consecutively, Boston been packed up in the fourth quarter and in overtime. That's all I know.
Yo, who's your guy? Because that's who we've been, a fourth quarter team.
Listen, I don't know I don't know what games this guy's watching. I don't know if he's not watching, but he's on blast right now. I ain't gonna call his name out, but I'm gonna send him this clip. In any case, I was on Knicks and Bruises, and the question was, DJ Shuttle, who's the X factor? I said it's Mikal Bridges. That's what I said. Mm-hmm. 2 games in a row. He did it in the fourth quarter, and he did it all game tonight. So goes Mikal Bridges. So goes the team. Because now you're not relying on Cat having to score 25, 30 points. He can grab 13, 14 rebounds. He can shoot 50% from the field. He only got to shoot 10, 12, 14 attempts, and it's okay. He don't got to score 25, 30 points. He's a threat, and they got to worry about him. And then when you put Twin Towers with Mitch in there, they all mixed up right now. Mitch, he drive me crazy, but at the same time, he do what he got to do. He made the plays tonight. Like there's no denying it. Mitch is in their head. Tony, you right. And they don't know what to do with this lineup with Mitch out there. And they don't really want to do 2 bigs. They don't really want to do that. That's what I'm seeing in this series. They don't want to do 2 bigs because that takes away from their balance and their most effective team lineup. So they don't want to do that. So kudos to your coach, Thibodeau, for going with it a little longer. He kept OG on the bench in the fourth a little longer than I thought he would do it. He did it though because the team was on a run. It was like, what you going to do? You leave him out there, and it worked. And man, fourth quarter. That's how you bring it home.
That's how you bring it home. That's how you bring. And I think it was Reggie Miller who said it on the telecast. At the
they're playing with fire.
And at the end of the third, he said, Tibbs wants to keep it to a 10 to 12 point game so that they're ready to strike when it comes down the stretch. And that's exactly what happened. It was a 12-point game going into the fourth quarter, And then, the Knicks started. They started their run. They started the strike. They began their strike.
I'm DJing at the spot tonight, and there was another DJ I got a chance to get off for a minute, and it's the middle of the third, and all he's saying is, yo, just keep it under 10. Keep it under 10 with 4 or 5 minutes left, and we going to take our chances with that. And, yo, then the lead just started just going, and, like, you just knew, oh, man, we want to pack these boys up and get them out of here.
Yeah. And right now it's almost like, let's get it to crunch time.
Oh, just get it to crunch time.
Get it to crunch time.
And I ain't gonna hold you. Boston look a little nervous.
Yeah.
They don't have the confidence in the shots the way they normally do.
They're out of sorts.
And if they don't gather that Boston, how they gonna come to New York and get it? New York City, stand up. Let's go. Game 3. Gotham City. Listen, it gotta be a zoo. It gotta be a zoo. Game 3.
Yo, you already know it's gonna be. It's gonna be wild. They've been having the watch parties in there. They've been keeping the fans, engaged.
I ain't even going front.
Wow, yo.
When's Game 4? Game 4 is Monday.
Yeah. Shout out to Dolan. Yeah, Game 4 is Monday. Game 4 is Monday.
Yo, listen, the bench ain't really been doing a whole lot. This is good. 3 days to rest. Get some new strategies in place. And listen, I ain't saying Boston can't win Game 4, but man, I want to win Game 3.
Oh yeah, really want Game 3.
Yeah,
Game 3 is mad pivotal. We're about to talk about that, but Game 3 is pivotal. It's mad pivotal. Even though we're up 2-0, it's still
I want 3 more than I wanted 2.
Yeah.
I ain't going to leave. Going home with a split. I felt good. But now, we got to pack them up.
Yeah.
Because if they win Game 3, they're going to feel confident. They can win Game 4. They're out 2-2 going back to Boston. No. We don't need that.
Right.
We need a body bag in Game 3 and just put the nail in the coffin on Game 4 or 5, and that's it.
And I ain't going front. I know a sweep is far-fetched, but I've had an issue with the Knicks protecting home court in the playoffs. Like, we've had home court advantage the past 2 years. Granted, it's nuances. We was injured last year, but even last series, and even we didn't protect home court. You know what I mean? We had to win it on the road. Last year in Philly, we didn't protect home court. We had to win it on the road. So this is another opportunity where we stole home court. You know what I mean? Let's show what MSG is. Let's show what the real Garden is. You know what I mean? Let's show what the real Garden is.
Right. Because right now, these playoffs, we're 1-2 at home.
We've been road warriors.
You know what I'm saying? We're 1-2 at home. So yeah, and I hope this is something that's being discussed in the locker room. You know what I'm saying? That, we're 1-2 in the playoffs this season at home. You know what I mean? We can't afford to give up 2, because then they get home court advantage back. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, we gotta take care of business in Game 3. Shuttle, I appreciate your time, man.
Yo, let's go Knicks. You heard?
No doubt. Peace.
Sir.
Yeah, Game 3, man. Saturday at 3:30. It's early game. You know what I'm saying? But it's pivotal. And the reason, even though the Knicks are up 2-0, the reason why I say it's pivotal is because, like Shuttle was saying, if you win Game 3, now you're up 3. They got to win 3 games. They got to win 4 games in a row, right? If you lose Game 3, you're up 2-1. Now the next game, they can tie. Even if you win Game 3 and lose Game 4, they still got to make up 2 games to tie. But if you lose Game 3, that gives them a golden opportunity to tie the series. You win Game 3, they got a long way to go to tie the series. You know what I'm saying? So Game 3 is really, really pivotal in this series. We do. We need to get game 3.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We got to get
And
game 3.
the other thing too, Sim, is like for us as fans and how we're looking at it, it looks a lot better to us. I mean, if the Knicks win, like you said, win game 3, I mean, Boston's got to win 4 in a row. Even if from right where it stands right now, there's 5 games left. Boston's got to win 4 out of 5.
Yeah.
So that's still a tall task when you think about it. Now, for the Knicks don't need to be thinking that way. Knicks need to be thinking this next game is a must win. Every game is a must win. Don't worry about no series or what our lead is. And I really hope that, I think part of the reason why I think the Knicks have struggled a little bit at home is just because of how raucous and how excited the Garden is, how hyped the Garden is. I think they kind of start to press a little bit. They play like if they're playing a knockout game. Like we gotta put our best foot forward. We gotta blow this team out. We gotta do it for the home fans because the home fans are going crazy. All the celebrities are here watching. We're on national TV.
We've had those opportunities. That's what I'm saying. We gotta show that we could close out at home. Like, again, I'm not talking about game 4, but I'm saying we got to show that home court advantage in the Garden means something.
Right.
You know what I mean? Otherwise, the standings. I mean, granted, we believe the standings, the records, like we can win on the road anyway. But we got to show home court advantage means something. Otherwise, it don't mean nothing that we won these games.
It's true.
Right. That's true. Here's what I want to see from the crowd, from the fans, and anyone that's watching, that listens to this tomorrow, whenever, that's going to the game on Saturday. If the Knicks get down 20, we need you to cheer the loudest. No boos. Right? 2 games in a row against this team, we were down 20 and we came back and won. Right? If the Knicks get down 20, cheer. You know what I'm saying? Cheer. Because, if, we get down 20 and you start booing and you're groaning and getting mad and this and that, now, now the team gets a little bit more depressed.
Mm-hmm.
Let's pick them up and recognize, like, okay, hey, you know what? You guys were down 20 before and you came back. Let's pick them up.
And this one was tougher than the first one. Like, this one was tough, bro.
I also hope that, and I'm saying this because I know sometimes it's a tall order. I hope our fans go out there and root and cheer the team, like you said. Even if they're down 20, keep rooting for them so that they can, they're not pressing. They can get out of that spot and have the fans behind them. The other thing too is I hope that the fans don't let the knucklehead fans give Boston any bulletin board material throughout the game. Right. Don't do the Atlanta thing or the Detroit thing and say stupid stuff to light a fire under them.
Right.
Just, be fans and boo them like normal fans, but don't hit them with the F-bombs and the extra stuff that these fans be saying to give them something to actually start playing for.
Bro, I ain't gonna lie. I said that with the Trae Young situation, like, show some class, and I believe in that energy. You know what I mean? So I agree with you 100%. Like, while out on your social media, if that's what you want to do. You know what I mean? You'll get the likes and clicks and views. You'll get more attention doing it on your social media than you will at the game. So
no doubt, man. No doubt. You know what I'm saying? Leave all the crazy. I mean, because we're gonna see videos tomorrow, fans doing, bugging out and doing all kinds of crazy stuff. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that. Just, boo them like normal, respectable fans, and cheer our team. Don't boo us. Cheer our team. We get down 20, cheer us on, push us forward. You know what I'm saying? And see if you can be part of the reason that we come back. You know what I mean? Hopefully, we don't get down 20. But it's been a series of swings right now. You know what I mean? It's somebody probably will go down double digits because it's been a series of swings, so far. On the phone, we got Nick from Jersey. Nick, what's happening with you, brother?
What's going on, gents?
Feeling good, man. Feeling really, really good.
Oh my God, who is the other gentleman's name in the panel right now?
That's Ron.
Not
Ron from Still
what is
Knicks
it?
Fans.
Ron, I just want to say, I agree with what you just said, but win or lose on Saturday, there's going to be Knicks fans saying F Trae Young after the game.
No, that's okay. They can say F Trae Young if they want to, because we ain't got to worry about Trae. I don't want them saying F Tatum or F Brown and F Porzingis. I want them to keep that on the low.
Yeah.
Sim, you want to talk about the game, or you want to talk big picture right now? What's going on?
Let's talk. We've talked a lot about the game. Let's talk big picture.
Big picture. This is historic. I mean, the Boston Celtics just blew 20 back-to-back 20-point second-half leads at home.
Yeah.
And the Knicks aren't even playing well, and it's hilarious because I was just curious. I know baseball has nothing to do with it. The Yankees have all these championships, right? And the Red Sox have less, but they're 12-12 with each other in the playoffs. 12-12, Yankees, Red Sox. The Knicks and Celtics. The Celtics have all these championships, but the Knicks and Celtics. The Celtics are only 8-7 against the Knicks in the playoffs historically. And if the Knicks win this series, they'll be 8-8. So Boston, New York will be 20-20 across baseball and basketball here. So the Knicks are like making things right and even between the two cities right now. And this is going to go down. If the Knicks hang on and win this series, this is going to go down as an epic collapse in Boston sports history. And their crowd, speaking of crowds, their crowd hasn't even been all that much. I thought it's supposed to be a good sports town.
That's true.
Right. Their crowd has not been loud, has not been into it.
Yeah.
It's hard to cheer when Brunson is going crazy.
And maybe their crowd feels a little bit too like these guys might have our number.
We do have their number. And the thing with Boston, very talented team. I mean, 1 through 10, they got a great bench. They got 5 guys in the starting lineup that are just amazing, and they got a great bench, right? And they could pop off anytime, but they don't have heart. They don't have courage, man. They're afraid of physical contact. Right. It's bizarre because I've had this problem with Tatum the entire time because I really like Tatum. I think he's a great player, ultra talented. He's like, if you could build a player in NBA 2K, like that's the guy, right? Like 6'9", 6'10", could do it all.
Yeah.
And yet he's got like nothing inside his guts. He's settling for all these shots, and it's like, hey man, we'll live with that. We'll be fine with that. So, I know he went to the basket there at the end. That was kind of like a really, it was a good play that they drew to get him that running start for that dunk. But when he made that dunk, I was like, this is fine. We got 18 seconds left.
Right.
We'll get the ball back at least twice here.
Yep. I felt the same way.
And, we got Jalen Brunson, literally the most clutch guy in the NBA.
Yep.
The leading scorer in the playoffs again.
Yeah.
Keep it close. I'm comfortable.
Right. If you look at that 18 seconds, got Jalen Brunson, the most clutch player in the NBA, and they were over the limit. You had to figure somehow we were going to get to the line. Either Brunson was going to score or we were going to get to the line.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I thought Tibbs did a good job managing Mitch in the second half. The first half, I thought maybe he pulled him out too early, but I think it was kind of his time to come out of the game anyway. He had been in the game for about 10 to 12 minutes already straight.
Right.
So I think he was like due to come out of the game. But Mitch was really impacting the game in the first half on the defense. He had like 2 steals. He was all over the glass, protecting the rim. And then when they had to pull him, that's when Boston went on their run, at the end of the second quarter and in the third quarter. And then all of a sudden, I think Josh Hart hit a 3. And it was like, that was like what OG Anunoby did last game where we were down 20 and OG hit 2 threes. Josh Hart hit a 3, and I'm thinking like, okay, here we come,
And he hit 2 threes.
And what's that?
He hit 2 threes. He hit one. The Knicks were down 20. He hit one to bring it to 17, and then he hit another 3, I think, in the corner.
Right.
Yeah.
And I thought that offensive foul on OG Anunoby was a momentum shift because they were going to pull within 7 or 6, and then within a second, within a minute, it seemed like they were up 18 again.
18.
I'm thinking like, okay, this is probably
Yeah.
out of reach. And the Knicks were down 20 in game 1 with like 5 minutes and 47 seconds left in the third quarter. This game, it was like they were down 20 with like maybe 3 minutes left in the third quarter. So I'm thinking like maybe even if the Knicks go on a run here, those 3 minutes, those extra 3 minutes that we just wasted might be enough for Boston to hold on.
Right.
But our defense with Mitch on the court in the fourth quarter was just next level.
Yeah.
And, that lineup of Mitch, Towns, Bridges, Deuce, and Brunson, where they were giving OG and Cat some breathing room and some rest, I thought was great. And then they brought Brunson in again. Just excellent management of the rotations in the second half of the game. And, we just proved that we could win games when Josh Hart is our leading scorer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's
Josh Hart. So that's what Boston wants to do. Boston wants. If you were to tell Mazzulla before the game, okay, Josh Hart's going to lead the Knicks in scoring, he would take that, every single time.
Every time.
And here we are, winning, 91-90 or whatever the final score was. So
right. Every time.
It's crazy. We started the game slow, right? We missed our first 8 shots. Wasn't our first basket from Josh Hart?
Yeah, because they waved off the OG shot.
They waved off. Yeah.
And I remember like it might have been our first couple of baskets because I remember early in the first, I'm like, yo, if Josh Hart is going to be our leader scorer, we're in trouble. I remember saying that, Jerry.
Yeah, I think he did score our first couple of baskets. I want to ask you guys this. I'm going to ask Nick first, and then we'll go around. I was talking. I'm a little scared to say it, but I was thinking it. I was thinking this during this game before he even said anything to me. But I was talking to Big Bubba, and he said, "This right now reminds me of when the Giants played the New England Patriots. The first time the Giants beat them in the Super Bowl, when they played the New England Patriots during the regular season, they lost the game, but they figured out how to beat them, and then they made it to the Super Bowl and they beat them." You remember the last time the Knicks played the Celtics, it was a close game. Went into overtime, the Knicks lost in overtime. You know what I'm saying? But maybe they figured it out in that game, and now we're seeing it here in the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? What do you think about that, Nick?
I think that makes sense.
You want your guys to go?
No, go ahead. You can go.
I'm just saying exactly. Yeah, precisely. It was a moral victory. That game in April, I think it was April 8th. The OG didn't foul at the end. Tatum hit a 3, forced overtime, and they lost by 2 in overtime.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, okay. And even the game before that in Boston in February, where the Knicks lost, I think, by maybe 14 or something, but it was a close game in the fourth quarter, which was the first time that the Knicks kept it close with Boston into the fourth quarter. They just weren't able to hang on that game. Mitchell Robinson wasn't available that game either. So I think the Knicks have figured Boston out. And I think the last 6 NBA champions have lost in the second round. I think, a championship hangover is real.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how Boston responds emotionally to this. I'll be very impressed if they come out and win Game 3. I think the Knicks are going to win Game 3. They just got to play loose. They got to play loose. And I don't see how Boston. They might win Game 4, but I don't know how they're going to. I don't know how you recover from this. They threw both games away.
Yeah. I don't know. Right, they threw both games away, no doubt. Hey, Nick, I appreciate your time as always, man.
Take care, guys.
Take care. Peace. What do you guys think about that, Ron? What do you think about that, man? Because I know, you're a Giants fan.
No, man, I agree. I think that the Giants, for example, it's very similar. The Knicks situation, very similar, because those teams, and especially those Giant teams around that time that happened, and it happened in essence twice, right? Because both of those teams struggled throughout the regular season to the point where Tom Coughlin's job was on the line. He was on the hot seat. a lot being a Giant coach.
A whole lot.
We started off 0-5 one year and won the Super Bowl. So they definitely learned from certain matchups when they played teams, and it's like once they knew, right? Because every time they played Tom Brady and the Patriots, they had their number. They beat him the first time in the playoffs, and then they beat him in the undefeated season, made them defeated. So they definitely. And I think honestly, I know I shouldn't say that because that's not what happened, right? But I look at that last game of the regular season versus Boston like the Knicks won. I just think Tibbs may have not made the right call. I think he should have fouled Tatum.
I also think he learned, though. I think Tibbs learned.
Yeah, no, I think he did too. And I think also, but the Knicks, like as a positive for the team, like you were up with seconds left. You had the game won over a team that was beating you all season and beating you handedly. So I definitely think
he's referenced that game and that same sentiment. So at 100%, he you know what I mean? He knows it was a loss, but he knows they figured some things out because he mentions both of them. The third game where it was a 8-point game in the fourth quarter, and the last game. So he definitely knows they figured some things out. Within the season.
Right. I mean, when you think about it, Tony, it's a combination of things, right? Obviously playing, right? And in Tibbs, but if he was here right now, he'd say, well, you know, watching tape and watching film, right? But
even them against the Orlando. You know what I mean? Like, I watched that series. I didn't, you know what I mean? I gotta watch some more, but before we got to play, so he's looking at their adjustments.
But it's also the fact that, I mean, the Knicks are healthy, right? We haven't been healthy in such a long time. We still I don't even know if we have 10 games, everybody being healthy together yet, but we're very close to that.
Yeah.
But so that's one thing that Boston hasn't seen as well, like a healthy Knicks team that's playing well together and clicking. And I think the other thing and then the other thing that I think is really big, even if you don't win the quarter, the fact that the Knicks have learned how to play in the third quarter in the last 3 games, the last one versus Detroit and these first 2 against Boston. The first one, obviously, you know, they made the run in the third quarter. This one, we
closed it out. We closed out the quarter.
So playing better basketball in 4 quarters of basketball, not just taking 1 quarter off and giving your opponent an advantage. I think that's big.
Yeah, no doubt about it. That third quarter has been huge for the Knicks. You know what I'm saying?
I also think,
especially especially when they come into the third quarter down 9 or down 10 or 11.
Yep. Cut it down.
That could be your whole game.
Yeah.
You come into the third quarter down 9 or 10, and if you stink it up, game over.
Game over. You know, right.
Or they come out on a tear, 8 straight.
Yeah.
But not only do I think they figured a lot of things out with Boston. Last game is kind of ironic too, because last game before Brunson got that game winner, there was a timeout call, right? Before that game winner, potential game winner before it went into overtime, they called a timeout on that possession.
They called a timeout, and then they came in. And they fouled, and then
that's when he was like, they made 2. They had a second play in the back. But when they called that timeout and Brunson was on the bench, he's sitting there and he's like, I got him. I figured him out. And I don't know if I assumed he's talking about Drew Holiday. Now, what I will say though, it's ironic because he missed the game winner and he missed the next 2 shots in overtime. And then he started this game out missing mad shots that he normally makes. But it was just something that was in my mind from, when I was starting to watch the game, because I was like, oh, man, he was like, oh, I got him. I figured him out. But, you know what I mean? He missed the next 3. He started tonight, missed a lot of shots. But I do think he did figure him out. Now he's just got to hit them shots. You know what I mean? Like,
and another thing too that I was just thinking of too. We as fans, we're like, yo, we got Mikal, we got OG. You know, OG's gonna help really lock down Tatum and Brown, whoever he's on. But historically, the matchup between OG and Tatum, OG hasn't really locked Tatum down. But these past 2 games, OG has made it really tough for Tatum. So I think that's big too. That's big too.
No doubt.
Even
Jason
Mikal
Benjamin,
on a switch.
thank you for the super chat. He said, boy, if I could have heard Clyde and Breen tonight. Yeah, for real. No doubt about it. Fred Wong, thank you for the super chat. He said, can someone please tell Dolan to keep Stephen A. Smith away from MSG? He's like a black cat. Oh, man. It's no way that you're keeping Stephen. It's no way Stephen A. Smith is going to be there. You know
He's the worst. He's the I saw that they were making a big deal about it. He was talking all types of stuff about the Knicks in game 1 when they was down. Then all of a sudden he's going crazy after they won.
Crazy.
Even tonight, like I didn't really see what these guys said after game 1, but tonight, after the game was over, Kenny Smith and Shaq are jumping up and down. Now Kenny Smith, okay, I still know that he's still a Knicks fan. He might hate a little bit because he didn't get the head coaching job.
Shaq changed his tune after the first win.
Detroit series, right?
Yeah.
No, I mean, going into the first win of the Boston, yeah. But come on, man.
But you know, Chuck. Well, I think what it is Chuck before the game was said there's no way the Knicks were gonna win. You know, Kenny was like, should I? You know, am I gonna be wearing a yellow orange handkerchief after the game or a green handkerchief? You know what I'm saying? And you know, Chuck was like, you might as well just throw the orange handkerchief away. So you know.
But you know what's funny? I don't believe that Chuck thought the Knicks were really not that they won't win. I mean, I don't know if he thought the Knicks could win, but I think he thought the Knicks would make it a series and make it tough. I feel like Chuck is actually hamming it up, like, you know, saying opposite stuff to get it. But Shaq, I do believe Shaq is a hater. I do believe Shaq did not want the Knicks to win, but he can't.
He don't
in front of his face. So
he a Jersey guy through and through. Like he don't like the he don't want the affiliation. Like, you know what I mean? Like some Jersey guys will still, like, you know what I mean, rep New York, tri-state area. That he
you know, Colin Cowherd, he said a lot.
Man, Colin Cowherd,
he said a lot. You know, he said a lot. I'm anxious to see what he has to say now.
Yeah, I mean, I want to hear what all of them have to say, because the first win was not about the Knicks. The Knicks got no credit. It was all about, oh, they shoot too many threes and the historic number of misses. I'm not, but at the same time, you know, they live and die by it. They'll figure it out. It had no. No, I put one up too. I highlighted another one from him.
Yeah,
about Stephen A. But yeah, a lot of people are gonna have a change of tune. They're gonna have to respect the Knicks and what we pulled off tonight. Like I said, this one was bigger than the first one.
Yeah, it was. It was way bigger than the first one. Way bigger than the first one. You know what I'm saying? Way bigger than the first one because, I mean, you go into Boston to take 2.
And if the Knicks, again, if we build off this, because again, we have not played our best. That's what I'm telling you. Yo, if we play our best, it's gonna be a problem. It's gonna be a problem.
I mean, I just don't know. You know, I guess when we all say playing our best, we're talking about offensively. You know what I'm saying?
I'm saying the combination.
Yeah, I just kind of agree with Ron that when we offensively, if we get it going offensively, it might take a little bit from the defense.
At our peak, the defense.
And I think, you know, that plays into their hands, I feel.
I think at our peak, the defense is generating the offense. Because I think, again, the same defense we playing to come back from 20, if we start the game like that, I think they fold. I think they fold early. That's what I'm saying. We've been on an uphill battle since the Detroit series. You know what I mean? Climbing our way, fighting our way back.
I think
and again, if that's what we need, that's a dangerous game for us to be playing.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think we're playing that defense even from the beginning. I mean, the beginning of this game, like no one could score for the first 5 minutes. It felt like nobody could really score.
I
You know,
agree with you
and
on that point.
the only way that they took a 6-point lead is because they took away the OG3, and then they gave Drew Holiday, well, more than the 6-point, whatever lead, gave Drew Holiday a clear path.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? But really, nobody was scoring for a while. It was just like, it was, and I think both teams were playing tough defense.
Okay, you're crediting the defense. I feel like we've been missing shots that we make,
I think,
especially like Brunson, even Mikal, like how he got hot. He was taking the same shots.
yeah, I think they're defended better than like in the in the regular season. You know what I'm saying? Like Boston is tough to get into the middle. And then when you get into the middle, they're not just letting you
They
shoot.
swarm. They swarm.
They swarm, and they're contesting shots. You know what I mean? And just the simple fact that it's tougher to get inside, you got to work so hard to get inside. Then it makes the
I
shot.
feel you saying the shots are tougher. They may look like the same shots we always make, but they're tougher to. That's fair. You crediting their defense.
Yeah, it's closing out quicker.
Yeah, yep. They close out quicker. You know what I'm saying? And they got a lot of length in there. Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, KP sometimes, Al Horford. You know what I mean? So and they play like a real saggy defense. So when you get inside, there's somebody there. There's somebody there. There's somebody there, and it's so now it's just tougher to get a good clean look off inside, I think.
And even when they don't have, even when you talk about the players that don't have the length, like Derek White has been a fantastic defender, and Drew Holiday is a special defender. Mm-hmm. So it's tough all around to just to what we talked about before. We knew it was going to look a little different. So Boston defense, we can't not give them credit for having a good defense because they're not as physical as Detroit. But it's still a tough defense. It just doesn't. It gives us a little bit more room, so now we can get shots off. But they're still there. Like, and even some of the open shots we're getting, they're breakdowns on their defense, and they've been having a lot of breakdowns. I saw a video. I kind of talked about it a little bit earlier today when I was walking and talking, but I saw a video from this kid, and I don't know his name, but he broke down that a lot of the fans in Boston were making a big deal about all those shots, those 3-point shots that Boston was taking.
But the open ones.
That's not why they lost the game. They lost the game. I mean, he didn't put the video up. Look at the defense. Look at where Jaylen Brown is on this play. Look at how wide open Jalen Brunson is here. Look at OG Anunoby wide open here. They had a lot of defensive lapses in that first game. So and I like I said, I didn't have a chance to look at the whole entire game too, but I would assume the Knicks got some good looks in this one too. So
I felt like the shots we normally make. But I mean, I'll preface it by saying this though. They haven't shot the ball well either. The Celtics.
That's true.
You know what I mean? So I'll keep it 100 and be like, yo, we can't play the way we've played if they're shooting the three at 45%. Or 35 or even 37%. You know what I mean? We can't play the way we play. So on both sides, it could get ugly if we start playing our best.
Yeah. We're gonna see. Saturday. What are before we get out of here, what are the key things to winning that game on Saturday?
Quick start. It's an early start. Y'all need to start early. Y'all don't need to wait till the second half to show up and play like y'all tend to do in early games. Y'all need to come out the gate like this is a closeout game and make MSG a staple for home court advantage. You know what I mean? But from the gate, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We missed our first 8 shots tonight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, can we make our first 8 shots?
Right.
At home?
Right.
And keep that energy going. That's number one for me. I'm gonna say team effort. I think we took advantage of mismatches throughout the game and hot hands throughout the game. Like you referenced Mikal. I'm gonna keep referencing Cat because he had a stretch a hell of a stretch. I want to say this is definitely one of his best stretch. The stretch that I'm referencing of the playoffs, with us, but also I think there's more to come with that. I think he figured some things out where he could dominate. So yeah, just feed the hot hand. I don't expect Brunson to have a subpar game throughout the game again. But yeah, just treat it like a closeout.
Yeah. Okay. Ron?
I think they just need to play smart basketball. Keep doing what they've been doing, playing the way they've been playing, but continue to move the ball and believe in each other as a team, but also be very careful. Don't come out the gate strong on defense. Don't let it build up as the game goes along. Come out strong in that first quarter, because honestly, if there was a game, now that we've seen what's happened already, I'm really worried about game 3, because I think that Boston is just going to let it fly. They're going to feel more comfortable away from their home arena, and I think they might be knocking it down in this game. So if the Knicks can come out with that strong defense early, hopefully they can break or keep that momentum, that rhythm at bay early. Maybe it'll translate to the rest of the game, because even if they do get hot later, maybe the Knicks are shooting well and have a lead, and maybe now it's Boston playing from behind. I don't know how I feel about it, but I'd much rather than playing from behind than playing catch up again. So
I would really like to see the Knicks play from ahead the entire game. Because I think if the Knicks are playing from ahead, I think it puts a lot of pressure on Boston.
I don't think they handle it well,
and and they might not be able to handle it well. The Knicks can play from ahead. Now when you get in the fourth quarter, now they're really like, oh shit, we're about to go down 3-0. You know what I'm saying? And the pressure will really, really build. They're already coming into the game with pressure. And if we can play from ahead, have a lead in the fourth quarter, we put a lot of pressure on Boston, and they might crack. You know what I'm saying? So, I would really love to play from ahead. I think, like Tony said, we got to come in with that closeout mentality. Like, they got to be, again, learning from the Detroit series. They had a closeout game at home and they lost. Had to go close it out in Detroit. You know what I'm saying? You learn from that.
Mm-hmm. But that's my concern, because we didn't learn. We went through that in Philly,
right?
You know what I mean? And same thing. And then
different team though.
You're right, but I'll put Indiana in there too, because I mean, even though again that was injury, so I think we would have beat them. Yeah. But again, I'm just saying, home court advantage hasn't shown to be a benefit of that. We still winning. You know what I mean? We still winning series. But I want, that's what I really want us to show. This is the time to be like, yo, we got home court advantage. It means something. We don't have it moving forward. I mean, maybe if we play Indiana.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? But technically, you know what I mean? We don't have it moving forward. So
yeah. You know what I'm saying? And then, just more the same, that, gritty defense throughout the game, 48 minutes, focus for 48 minutes. That's one thing this team is doing, focusing for 48 minutes, regardless of the situation, just straight focus the entire 48 minutes that they're out there on the floor. You know what I'm saying? And, we got to, just continue to see that, from this team coming to the Garden with a closeout mentality, continue to focus. And I don't even know if they have to adjust to anything, because what they've been doing is working.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It's Boston that has to adjust and figure out how do we get past these guys, and then, but I don't know how much adjusting can they really do at this point. They don't have anything. Do they have something special in the bag that they can pull out? Like, you know what I'm saying? How much adjusting can they really do at this point besides make shots?
That's what Missoula's gonna say. We gotta make shots. and that's the difference. And he's gonna reference the point differential and say we're right there and we haven't played well.
All right. And the Knicks will say the same thing though.
Yeah.
We haven't played well. So
Yeah.
But that's the key. That's the plan, and that's what's working. Because Boston is shooting 35% in the playoffs from three, and in this series they're shooting around 23-24%. So it's working.
And I think the Knicks have this. They know that they're talented, but I think they have this bully confidence against them. Like, these guys ain't tough. We can beat them up.
And they don't play as hard as us.
And they don't play as hard as us.
And they not as because I heard somebody say it when I was watching whatever I was trying to watch, listening to it. They're not. I mean, I don't think they're as conditioned as the Knicks are. Like, they was getting a little gassed in that fourth quarter. Apparently, I didn't see it, but that's what I heard. Yeah. And shout out to Tibbs for that too. Even though we get on them, minutes police people, everybody in the fan base. This is the one thing that if people go back, a lot of people when we were talking about it, we did think that it could be a benefit in the playoffs because he's going to shorten the rotation. These guys is already used to playing the minutes, so this is when it comes in handy. I still don't think you should do that all season to get to the point, but I'm just saying.
and the opposite of that is empowering your bench so they ready for the postseason. So
right,
I mean,
thankfully, Tony, to that point, the Knicks starting lineup is so damn good that we've been able to win in spite of not having a bench because other teams would have folded.
Yeah, and guys, it's not a shock to their system to have to play 40 whatever minutes.
Yeah,
I mean, tonight OG played 38, Josh Hart 42, Cat played 34.
It was a light night for them.
Yeah, Bridges played 43, Brunson 37, Mitchell Robinson played 22, Miles McBride played 16. I mean, for the Celtics, 41 for Jaylen Brown, 42 for Jason Tatum, 29 for Horford. Derek White played 40. Drew Holiday played 34. Peyton Pritchard. I mean, these guys are playing the same. They only played 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 players.
And two of their main guys, 3, KP 4, is limited.
5, 7, 8.
And Hauser's out.
Right. So. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, gonna head off for the night.
Wait, Sam. What's your play of the game?
The play of the game?
Said it. Oh, play of the game.
Because it would be the dunk. I don't know if you could still get the offensive foul. Can that be the play of the game?
OG's dunk. I mean, it was a monster dunk.
It was a monster dunk.
All right, I'm gonna go first because I got mine.
Okay.
It's the It wasn't a score. It wasn't a block. It wasn't a steal. But it was Mitchell Robinson diving for that loose ball. It ended up a jump ball. But I thought that was another momentum play that kept our momentum going forward.
Okay, I'm trying to think.
I'll say mine now because I don't really have one because
ended the game.
I couldn't really see a lot. So, but from what I did see when I saw the highlights, I'm going to say the Josh Hart 3 that helped them start kicking off the run to get back into it. I think that was big because the Knicks were down 20. He hit a 3, brought it to 17. And I think
the top of the key one is the first one, and then the corner one's the second one.
Yeah.
Yep, top of the key. Yeah. I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not sure which one is the play of the game. There's so many key plays in this game. Just I'm gonna go on just a play that I really like. Not even one that was super impactful to the game. I think it was in the first half. Oh, maybe it's second half. No, it was first half. Brunson was going baseline. Right, and one guy I think Drew was on him, and then KP switched off onto him, right, and then he hooked KP's leg and slipped through somehow. Yeah,
that was nasty.
I like that play.
That was Reggie Miller. I think he hooked it. Look at the replay. I think he hooked his leg and
he grabbed it. What a play by Brunson. Yeah. Yeah. So thank you for the super chat. He says, Sim, I don't think Cat has taken 5 threes in 2 games. Not our best. He hasn't, but that's okay because right now we're playing to the matchup. And the matchup is for him to score in the paint. You know what I mean? And I think that's okay in this series. I think that's okay. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, appreciate your time. You know what I'm saying? Go Knicks. Up 2-0 over the Celtics. Tomorrow night we'll be doing hopefully.
I got it set up.
You know,
I got the okay.
Okay, cool. Doing the Losers Lounge tomorrow night. You know what I'm saying? You know, Boston Baked Beans 2. You know what it is, ladies and gentlemen. Boston Baked Beans. Anyway, we out of here. Be peaceful. One.
This is NBK, nothing but Knicks. When Sim passed the assist, you know that it's #1 show that breaks down the game. If you can't play defense, stay out my way. Dribble the ball, come down the lane. 5 seconds on the shot clock, who gon' win us the game? You wanna hear Nick updates and trade rumors? Post-game reviews, this the place to tune in. So tell a friend just to keep the ball moving. Like the page if you feeling the movement. Every game we coming to win. Give us a sub like a player that came off the bench. This is NBK, nothing but Knicks.